there's some form of mental health behind it. And there was some psychiatric intervention, and no, she wasn't very open and honest with her psychiatrist, which came out when Dr. Yates kind of assessed her. But did there need to be more done? Did there need to be a bit more of an intervention when it came from the mental health professionals? And then consideration into the role that the extreme religious ideologies had on the family when it came to gender roles and having large families, the impact of that on this family dynamic. Did she feel obliged? And I'm sure I read when I was doing this research that she did feel obliged to continue to have children. And yes, it was a different time, and you know, sometimes you just have to go with what you're being asked to do. The husband's asking her to have more children, and therefore she's having more children. However, what role did this extremist religious belief have on her when it came to her mental health and her ability to take care of her children? Finally, it also helps us, this is a good case that helps us look at how we as mothers and how we as a community of people can better support others that are going through mental health struggles, or who are just feeling a bit overwhelmed and may not say it out loud, but we know what it is like as mothers, and just as academics, as students, as, you know, people within our community. We know how sometimes you may not say it out loud, but there's small things and there's small actions that we can look out for that may give us an indication that someone needs a bit of support. So how do we support each other better? To not saying that everyone's going to turn into an Andrea Yates. No, I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. However, when there are warning signs, what do we do so that we are not ignoring them in ourselves and in others? How can we contribute to changing these devastating stories into something of success? So there's a thought there. What can we learn from Andrea Yates' story as an academic mama, or as a mama, or as an academic? And how can we spot the signs in ourselves and in others before the tragedy strikes? This case is not just about crime, it's about care, it's about community, and it's about critical intervention, all of which I think was greatly missed in this case. The care that her husband could have had for her, and her family did technically have for her, but just wasn't really followed through. The community was kind of there, but that same community was telling her that her children could be influenced and, you know, be the spawns of Satan. They didn't say the spawns of Satan, they didn't, but the TV was telling her that she was evil and her kids were gonna suffer in hell. That's basically the concept that goes behind the delusions that she had, and which was fueled by the community, the religious community that she was a part of. So the care, the community, and the intervention, the critical intervention that she needed wasn't there. What can we do when it comes to these situations? If this story moved you, hit that like and subscribe button. I would love to know your thoughts and comments, so don't forget to comment down below. They don't have to be in agreement of what we're saying.